when AI starts eating finance jobs, because it's not coming for finance as a career. It's coming for the parts of your job that were never worth the human salary in the first place. So let's talk about who actually freezes and who's going to end up with a lot more heat than ever. If you're in wealth management, banking, sales, and trading, or just trying to break in, this is a breakdown of what's probably going to be changing, who's going to win, who loses, and what you need to do next. Let's debunk the scary headline. MIT's latest iceberg index says AI is technically capable of replacing about 12% of the U.S. workforce across finance, healthcare, and professional services. That's a little over $1 trillion worth of work that machines could handle with existing tech. That sure sounds like a job apocalypse, until you look at what's actually happening to the people doing those jobs. Vanguard looked at the occupations most exposed to AI, the ones everyone says should be getting wiped out. Those workers have seen real wage growth around 3.8% versus 0.7% for everyone else. Now remember, real wage growth is your increase in income versus inflation, so you're actually doing better. Employment growth is stronger too. This is not a robot takes your job story. It's a robot eats the boring parts and forces you to prove your worth story. AI doesn't replace jobs in one clean shot. It replaces tasks. Every role in finance is a bundle of tasks. And AI is going line by line. Anything repetitive, rules-based, or text-heavy is on the chopping block. Anything that requires judgment, trust, or navigating gray areas stays with humans for now. So in practice, that means your job gets split in half. Your risk is not that AI steals your job. Your risk is that 50 to 70% of what you do for a living is in the left column. What people think this job is. Client-facing associates is where AI changes the job the most, and almost nobody explains this clearly. Titles vary: client associate, relationship associate, sales assistant, junior advisor, but the function is pretty much the same. You sit between four things: the client, the advisor, the firm, and the systems. Most people think this role is admin: notes, emails, calendars, paperwork, CRM updates, and historically that's true. That's how firms staffed it. Not because it was strategic, but because it was cheaper than hiring another senior advisor to do this. In reality, this role is about situational awareness. You hear the client's tone change. You notice hesitation. You catch confusion that never makes it into the notes. You understand the history, the personalities, the landmines. That's the real job. What AI is going to take cleanly and permanently is the mechanical stuff. It's really good at mechanical, the layer. It already does or will very soon do meeting transcriptions and summaries, auto-logging emails and calls, drafting follow-ups, agenda prep, pulling client history, suggesting template next steps. These aren't future features, they're live. So the role doesn't disappear, it tilts. Less typing, less chasing, less clerical work, more interpretation, more judgment, more live room awareness. Your value becomes catching what the model missed, knowing when a recommendation doesn't fit the client, managing the room during the meetings, translating generic output into human language, navigating gray area compliance and firm politics. The model drafts. You decide what actually goes out. The good news is this role becomes more interesting and more visible. Bad news, if your value is moving information from one box to another, automation loves you. That seat goes away. Now let's take that same framework and move it one seat over. So if you're a junior advisor or trying to become one, AI doesn't kill the career. It kills the apprenticeship part built on paperwork. Let's talk about the old way first. Historically, juniors earned their stripes by building plans, updating models, running projections, prepping review decks, handling the paperwork. Not because it was valuable, because it had to be done. It was necessary. AI is going to collapse that timeline. It can already draft full financial plans, run scenarios instantly, build model portfolios, compare products on fees and features. That used to take days, now it takes minutes. So your value shifts fast. You get paid for running discovery conversations, asking better questions, coaching clients when markets suck, explaining trade-offs people don't want to hear, specializing in a niche where you understand the human side better than a script. This is great if you like people. This is terrible if you thought advising was mostly just math and forms. The good news is you skip years of admin work and get to real advisor work faster. The bad news is there's nowhere to hide. If you can't handle conversation, AI exposes that really quickly. Now I'm going to talk about the group that's most anxious, the career changers. If you're 40, 45, 50, thinking about switching into advising, listen carefully. You're not behind. You're early for this version of the job. Most career changers think they're competing with 25-year-olds who are better with tech. That's the wrong comparison. AI actually levels the technical playing field. It handles math, projections, paperwork, comparisons. Everyone gets the same intern. Your edge is life experience. You understand careers, layoffs, businesses, kids, aging parents, risk, and regret. You can sit across from someone and talk about decisions that actually matter from experience. Remember, AI is your intern. Your experience is the product. However, if you refuse to touch the tools, you lose. If you embrace them, you're going to compress that learning curve so tight. Now let's go to the desks. Now we're going to talk about the trading desks. Everyone hears AI trading and picture human beings getting wiped off the floor. That already happened, just not to the people they think. In liquid electronic markets, equities, rates, FX, vanilla options, a lot of the mechanical work is already automated. AI and algorithms already handle quote optimization, spread management, order routing, execution timing, risk limits set inside the rules. That's not new. That's been happening for years. If your job was clicking a mouse faster than the next guy, that job was never long for this world anyway. Automation doesn't replace traders. It replaces execution labor. And those are not the same things. Execution is about how to trade. Trading is about what to trade, when not to trade, and how much risk you're actually taking. Humans still own the hardest part of trading. Illiquid products when the data is like thin or unreliable, you can't find anything. Structured trades with bespoke terms because everyone has to do their own thing. Market stress when the correlations break. Situations where the freaking model's backtest stops working. Client conversations when the P&L is nothing but red. When the model starts throwing answers you don't trust, that's when the humans get paid. Look, every model works until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it falls fast. In real markets, you get regime changes, liquidity disappearing, news that doesn't fit the data set, counterparties behaving irrationally. AI is great at patterns. It's terrible at this feels wrong. And that feeling matters. If you're a junior on a desk, here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't get paid for memorizing buttons anymore. You get paid for understanding why the model recommends a trade, knowing when not to run it, explaining risk to someone who's nervous, catching edge cases before they blow up. If all you do is watch screens and escalate alerts, you're competing with the software. For sales traders, the shift is even cleaner. AI can price faster. It can quote tighter. It can simulate scenarios. What it can't do is read a client's hesitation, know when they're fishing versus serious, talk someone out of a bad trade, manage relationships when the markets get chaotic. The better the tools, the more valuable good judgment becomes. Who wins in trading? Not the fastest clicker, not the best Excel jockey. The winners are people who understand products deeply, people who can think probabilistically, not mechanically, people who know when to override the model, people clients trust when things go sideways. AI doesn't replace that. It amplifies it. If your value is execution, you're done. You're gone. You may not know it yet, but you're out of here. If your value is judgment, structure, and risk ownership, you're not being replaced. You're being armed. Let's be precise about investment banking jobs, because that's where people either get panic or they get complacent. AI is not eliminating bankers. It's eliminating busy work as a justification for headcount. That's a big difference. Historically, banks stuffed large analyst classes for one reason, to absorb pain. Long hours, manual Excel, comps, screeners, pitch books. That grind wasn't a rite of passage. It was a workaround for limited tools. AI is already very good at first drafts, initial financial models and sensitivities, comparable company screens, boilerplate industry slides, market summaries, precedent polls, draft pitch decks. These used to take days. Now they take minutes. This is the part that the juniors need to understand. The first draft was never the job. The job was knowing what to do with it. AI gives you answers. It does not give you judgment. So analyst and associate values shift. Framing the right question before the model runs. Stress testing assumptions. Catching edge cases the model misses. Sounds familiar. Understanding where comps break down. Telling a coherent story management can follow. If you can't explain it, you don't understand it. People are saying analysts should start thinking earlier now, but that's kind of vague. You're expected to question the output, push back on bad assumptions, flag inconsistencies, say this doesn't make sense before it goes to the VP. That used to happen years later. Now it happens in year one. This is fantastic news if you're good. You get higher quality reps, more visibility, more responsibility earlier, less time wasting energy on mechanical garbage. Bad news for the mediocre ones. And here's the part nobody sugarcoats. If your value is being willing to grind spreadsheets without thinking, you're exposed, you're done. Checkbox analysts don't age well in an AI world. There's nowhere to hide behind volume anymore. Now, for the associates and VPs, AI is not going to replace the judgment, it amplifies it. It helps you run more scenarios, pressure test deals faster, see downside cases earlier, communicate trade-offs more clearly. But it also removes your excuses. You can't blame the model if the story doesn't hold together. Does this mean fewer analysts overall? Yes, it does, but not zero. It means smaller classes, higher expectations, and less tolerance for people who can't think independently. So here's a real deal on investment banking. AI removes the suffering, not the skill. If you understand the business, the model makes you faster. If you don't, it exposes you faster. That's the trade-off. Every time this industry changes, people swear it's the end. It never is. The work just gets harder to fake. AI didn't break finance. It made it honest. If you bring real value, this is a gift. If you don't, it's a problem. I'll break down each role in future videos: advisors, client associates, trading, banking, entry level. No hype, no panic, just how to play it. This isn't over. It's just getting sorted. And anticlimactic, how are you? Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. Okay. It's Thursday. It's NASA night. I will go into things other than NASA, but Thursdays is always a weird one. I want you all to know that I'm not watching curling now because of you guys, okay? Because I'm here now, not watching curling and uphill mountain climbing on skis because I'm with you guys. But I love you. Okay, couple quick things. I have we have a couple things to talk about. One, we do a class. We have memberships that it's like between $25 and $50 a month. $25, we meet every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you jump up to the $50 one, we meet Sundays and Tuesdays. Like the class we just had just ended a little while ago, and it was covering. Where am I? There we go. That works. Okay. And we went through a couple good stuff about tax equivalent yield and stuff like that. Friday the 13th is tomorrow. That's very true. Platypus, my man, the D-man. Okay. Do the memberships are cheap. I mean, if you do the math on that shit, right? It is literally $25 a month, right? Or 50, right? That works out to be for 8 classes. If you do the $50 ones, 8 classes a month, that's like $8 a class. Whether you're going to do anything for it, that's like a coffee, baby. You know when they say stop drinking Starbucks and give it up? That's what they're saying. Stop drinking Starbucks and come to my class. That's what they're saying. Okay. Also, if you need good stuff, if you're really struggling to understand this shit, go check out Achievable. They're amazing. I have a link in most of my descriptions. I don't know if it's in the lives. I don't look. Like I literally don't look at the back end of this shit. I just do a video, post it, and fucking never look at it again. I kind of just whatever happens, happens. Okay. If I throw out 3 in a day or 1 in a day or once a week or once a month, it is what it is. Okay. Now, don't forget STC is pretty solid too. We're all good. Okay. Ooh, I disappeared for a second. My internet sucks sometimes. So let me make sure my internet on my phone is off so I don't pull from there. Okay. Boom, baby. Okay, now let's go. Okay. Now, a couple good things. Let's go over. I see good news. Go Darius. Boom. Okay. I love it. So you did the 66 first. I love it. So here's my question for you. Ton of options. Boom. I'm telling you, my options questions are gold, baby. They're just fucking gold. I love that shit. I am so happy with you. You're done, baby. That is outstanding. You know what I'm looking for you, man. Okay, here we go. Boom, love it, baby. Godarius, I am so happy for you. How great a feeling it is to be done. Okay. Where they're at, 100%. D-Man is absolutely right. You need to celebrate. Celebrate. I used to have that video on there. Outstanding. Okay. Let's go on here. Okay. Looking for jobs. Let's assume you pass. Guys, throw questions in here. We'll get it. I have a couple people email me. I'll bring them up. So, what do we got? So the first thing is you start your job. You're probably, if you got your 6, you're probably at like a Primerica or New York Life or Northwestern or something like that, where they're pushing the insurance stuff. It's fine. It's a good way to earn. Insurance is a great base. Some people make like, there are people in my town that are massive, more like corporate insurance and reinsurance, but they do make a shitload of money. Okay. They're big ass houses. My town has a lot of hedge fund guys, a lot of pros, because the Jets they practice about 2 miles from here. They have this thing in Florham Park. And then the Devils are not that far from here, where they have the Rock. So I'm the poor man in a rich town. I'm going to put it that way. So it helps. It's good. You want to be the poor man in a rich town, because then your shit goes up. Okay. Now, but insurance works. You can make money. But if you really got to jump, you got to try to get, if they're letting you, if they have you take the 63, see if they'll let you take the 65. And then if you get both the 63 and 65, then you can maybe try to get them to let you take the 7. And if they don't, look for jobs at like Schwab, Morgan Stanley, Fidelity. Fidelity is always great. I swear to God, Fidelity, it's weird. It's like a little culty, okay? They are so good. They don't pay a shit ton. I think I have Fidelity coming up here in a second. But they don't pay a ton at first. They pay well. They pay fun. Raymond James, baby. All down, baby, because of AI. The market's down today because everyone's worried about AI. There's Fidelity. It was down yesterday, too. I did a video on that stuff. They don't pay a shit ton at first, but they promote a lot from within. I have a couple guys that pop on here once in a while that we hear when they had like 2,000 and 1,500 subscribers. They're making good money now because they keep moving up. Like, I think I remember Fidelity would do this. When you first start, you handle it. Once you get licenses, you got into the walk-ins, and you can hold the people that are between like 0 and 250. And then another bucket is, and if you got a customer come in and they're 240, you get them. But once you hit 250, they go to a new person. There's no continuity. Guess they say it doesn't matter. Okay. You got to try to get the 7 so you can work at a Schwab, at a Raymond James, at a Stifel, at a Schwab, at a Fidelity, at Morgan Stanley, at Goldman, RBC, all that stuff. And you should have, to be fair, if you're going to work at the Goldmans and JP Morgans, even as a wealth advisor, they're going to want a college degree. So if you don't have one, look at the other places, like maybe Vanguard to take you. Maybe you can build a business at probably Fisher or something like that. So there's a lot of things you can do once you get your licenses, but the 6 opens up doors to certain places a lot more. The 7 opens up a lot more. Okay. The 7 opens a ton more spots. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. He's on 6 stuff. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Ross, baby. Okay, how do we feel? Are you scoring? What should you have? No, don't take a shot. I think you should try to get laid or something. But don't get out. Don't get drunk. It's not worth it. I mean, I always joke around that I could take these tests drunk on Xanax and stuff. I think that's a bad mix. I'm not telling anyone to do that. But because I have a big thing about the test is easy. I don't really think they're easy. But I go in there like they're easy. Okay. I always go into the test like, you know what? I can answer this. I did a video. I did one on an option question the other day on Tuesday night about how showing kind of easy with them. So I'm a big fan of just go in there thinking it's easy. But what should you do? You should make sure you eat lunch. I don't know, have steak. Don't go nuts that you have to go to the bathroom halfway through. But bring a bottle of water. Actual water, not vodka in a water bottle. You know, not when you did when you were 16 and you don't want anyone to know that you're drinking. Okay. Now. Okay. Good. Okay. That's a good thing. So you want to go over also last minute stuff tonight, tomorrow morning. Go over trusts, estates, and joint accounts. Joint accounts are big, right? So what is that? So if you have, there's 3 or 4 main ones, right? So the first one we think when they just say joint account, they mean joint with rights of survivorship. Okay, that's what they mean. When they just say joint account, they 9 times out of 10 mean joint with rights of survivorship. That's kind of where we are. So, that means if we both have an account, we can both make trades, we can do all that stuff, we can even liquidate it. However, if we liquidate it, the check has to be written to both people. Okay. So, but here's the deal with the rights of survivorship, and you will get questions on this. If you and I have an account, you the collective you, and me the fat me. If I have a heart attack and die, and I put in 80 grand of the money and you put in 20 and I kick it, right? You get all the money. So, by the way, the cops will be looking at you first. You're the initial suspect, right? But the point is, you get all my money. So you don't need to be married, but it's probably a better idea. And you can't ask them why they're not married for it. You can't do that shit. I've seen questions on that where they go, oh, hey, I got, there's an unmarried couple that come in and one of the answers is, should you ask them why they're not married? What the fuck? No. Okay. But it does, if they're married, it's better, but it doesn't really matter. Like brother and sister, maybe. The other one is joint tenants in common. Joint tenants in common is where you and I have an account. I have 40% in it. I have 40 grand in it. You have 60 grand. We're ballers, right? I have 40 grand. You have 60. If I die, my money goes to my estate, my heirs, my beneficiaries, not to you. And it goes through probate. Rights of survivorship avoids probate. Tenants in common goes through probate. And if you don't know what probate is the ability to, not the ability, it's the court, where they charge you a little bit of money or a lot of money to decide where your money goes. So if you die without a will, which is called intestate, okay? If you die without a will called intestate, that means probate comes in and they hire a lawyer to come in and look at your shit and decide where the money goes based on state law. And if you didn't do a will, it may go to people you didn't want it to go to because whatever the rules say, okay? So make sure that you have a will, first of all. And again, tenants in common goes through probate. Rights of survivorship does not. Okay, now, you can both place orders, you can both write checks and all that shit. It just has to go to both people. Now, third, transfer on death. TOD. T-O-D. Transfer on death is not a joint account. I guess it could be, but let's assume it's not. It's I have an account, but I name you the beneficiary of my account. It's a transfer on death. So if I die, it transfers to you automatically. Here's some good things. 1, it avoids probate. Awesome. 2, it avoids probate. 3, it avoids probate. 4, it avoids probate. 5, it beats the will, meaning that if your will says everything goes to Johnny and my TOD account says everything in this account goes to this person, that whatever's in this account goes to this person despite what the will says. So it supersedes the will. That's TOD. Third, benefits for the entirety. Okay, benefits for the entirety. Benefits for the entirety means that it's only married people, only miserable married people can do this. I'm happily married. I just get around to make it stick. If you're married, you can do this, and you'll usually buy property or something like a house. And what happens is, if you buy a house in a tenant's an entirety account, okay, and then I get in trouble and I get sued, they can't touch that house unless the other person, the spouse, is also named in the lawsuit. So if I do something on the own without my wife, and I'm a creditor and they come after me, if I have something that benefits in the entirety, they cannot touch the house or whatever property we have in there. Boom. Now, the last one is not really an account, community property. Community property just means that you're married, okay? Now, if I remember it, you'll have to look this up, but remember it, the whole point is that once you're married a certain amount of time, everything you brought in becomes family. If you're in a community property state and I die, I think everything in the account gets stepped up to when I die. If it's a non-community property state, okay? If it's a non-community property state, I only think my half gets stepped up, your half is not. Those are questions you could see. Now, what's interesting, what I heard, and I haven't done a lot of research on it yet, but I will. There is a, you know what? Let me do that. Okay. Let's Ross, that's good. I'm going to come with my thing that stay tuned because there's something that somebody saw in the test yesterday that I'm going to bring up. Okay. Now, futures versus forwards. Okay. Futures and forwards are contracts to buy or sell a property, if a commodity or whatever. Now, it technically do it in indexes, but it's fine. If it's a regular future forward, you have a contract to buy if you buy it, and if you sell a future, you have a contract to sell. Why would I do that? to protect myself, to hedge. Okay. So the deal here is that if I'm a farmer and I'm pulling all this and I have all this wheat coming out in May and the price is rock solid today, I go, I don't want to miss out on that price. By the way, Guderius, that was super. Boy, Mr. Sony, that's awesome. Guderius, that is amazing. Way to gift that SIE membership. I love it. Now, if you're taking the essay, Guderius, that is outstanding. If you're doing that, Mr. Sony Toprano, remember something. We meet. You'll see a lot of membership replays, but if it's for the SIE, we meet on Wednesday nights on Zoom. It's like $5 a month for anyone who's taking the SIE. Do that. We meet at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Okay. Now, futures and forwards. So futures are we're obligated to buy. Futures are selling futures. We're obligated to sell. So if I'm a farmer, I'm worried the price will drop before I actually harvest the wheat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock in the price now by selling the wheat at 50 cents. Say that's where it is. Say 50 cents right now. I'm locking in that feel. Okay. So I'm locking in the fact that I can sell it at 50 cents in May. So I'm literally selling the wheat now for 50 cents a bushel to be delivered in May. Okay. That's when you sell a future. When you buy a future, the other side is the person really wants the wheat and the word price will go up. So they'll buy a future. So they're literally buying the wheat now to be delivered in May. So they're buying a forward or future contract, right? So that's what you're doing. If I'm selling a future, I'm selling the wheat now to be delivered in 6 months. If I'm buying a future of forward, I'm buying the wheat now to be delivered in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever it is. I'm locking it in. Here's the thing. Forwards, by the way, they're not securities. And it's not like the buyer has rights, sellers has obligations like options. Both sides are obligated to perform. So if you hold it to expiration, you might wake up with a fucking truckload of hogs on your front lawn. Not really, but in hyperbolic or symbolically, I guess. Okay. Here, futures. There's a futures exchange. So futures trade on an exchange. They're standardized. They're liquid. All that shit. You can get at them very easily, in and out. That's what she said. Forwards are not liquid. It's a contract between me and you, and it's not liquid, but they are adjustable. Like, let's say the normal apple bushel amount for a contract is $5,000, but I have like 7,000 bushels of apple. So I could do a future for 5 and then do a forward for the 2 to make up the difference and be fully hedged. I can do that. Don't always do it, but I can. Forwards are not tradable. Like once you buy into it, you're kind of stuck unless you can convince this other side of the contract to lay you out of it. But why would they do that? I guess they don't really care, but they have you. Okay. It's more for like people to people. Futures are on the exchange. You can buy futures on indexes, on commodities, stuff like that. You can buy options on futures. If you buy a call, if you buy an option, if you buy a gold future call, if you exercise, you're going to be long futures. If you buy a gold future put and you exercise, you're going to be short a future or sell a future. That's bears. So I always think buy is bullish, sell is bears. Buying futures, you're bullish, you're afraid or you want it to go up. And if you sell a future, you're afraid or you want it to go down. That should help a little bit. Okay. That's quick and dirty. Okay. Oh, Veronica. Hold on 1 second. Let me get to that. Okay. Remember, I'm about 12 minutes behind people, but there's not a lot of questions. So throw your questions in the chat now to build it up. Okay. Veronica, I'll get to that too. I will do. Okay. So can I clarify the registration? Okay, here we go. There's no such thing as a solicitor for a BD. Solicitors are for IAs. Okay. So a solicitor is someone who finds clients for an investment advisor. Now, the SEC does not believe that they are advisors, or giving personalized advice, so they do not have to register on the federal level, even if it's a firm. They're registered on the state level only, anywhere they have clients. Okay. If they're an IA, if they're an individual and they're doing everything the Morgan Stanley say, then it's going to be they are going to register probably as an IAR under Morgan Stanley as a solicitor. Remember, when you register with a firm, you don't have to be a you don't have to be a W-2 employee. You can be 1099. You can be anything you want. I literally, the other firm I had, we had 2 guys who brought in business, but they didn't work they had one client that brought in like $20 million worth of commissions every summer. 20 million, 2 million. Okay, 20 million. That's fucking nuts. 2 million. He had his base was $200 million, right? So he would do about $2 million worth of a deal every 6 months, I think it was every July. Okay. So the guy only worked one day. He didn't show up. He just works for us, talking to the guy, blah, blah, blah. His buddies from high school, probably his naked pictures of him or something. So basically, every year he'd have a thing, he'd do a deal, get $2 million, and then I wouldn't see him for a year. FINRA didn't care. As long as he was registered with us, they're good to go. They don't care how it is. Same thing with the states. As long as you're associated with them, be registered. If you're doing stuff, be registered. Okay. Now, the next part is IAR. If you're an IAR, you just register as an IAR under the advisor. If you want to be a firm, then you become an IA at the state level, not the federal level. You have your own brochure, and when you get clients for the IA, you give them their brochure and yours. So the whole point is here: if I am an IA, I would register. Okay, I'm going to register. Let me unpin that thing. I'm going to register with the state as a firm, and I'll have a brochure. So when I go to see the client, to register, to solicit them, I will give them my brochure as a solicitor and the advisor's brochure at the same time. Boom. And I have to show, I don't have to get the client to sign it, but I have to show proof of delivery. And I have to hold that for how long? 5 years, right? So always remember, investment advisors, it's a 5-year record keeping, right? Broker dealers are 3, but solicitors don't work with broker dealers. They work with IAs. So hope that helps a little bit. Okay. Again, they only register on the state level, not the federal level. Federal doesn't believe them to be giving advice. Okay. Okay. Let's go through the 13 reasons why. Okay. So let's start with the first one. So if you cross over 5% of a company, crossover, not 5%, crossover. And you don't want to be an owner. You don't want to be aggressive. You want to be a passive owner, right? You want to be a passive owner. What you're going to do, you are going to do a 13G. G isn't good, okay? Minor thing, G isn't good. Secondly, if you want to be active, you're going to be a 13D. That means you're not going to be a passive owner. You probably take them over. So use the Elon thing. So Elon crossed 5% of Twitter. He crossed over. He's supposed to do it within 10 days. He didn't do it quick enough, but whatever. So he filed a 13G as passive. And then he goes, well, I want to get on the board. And I'm like, how can that be? Because 13G is like you're just like a mutual fund. You just own it to be an investor. So then a week or two later, he filed a 13D because he wanted to be on, obviously he took it over. So he wanted to be an activist investor, make a bid. So we did a 13D for devious, okay? G for good, D for devious. Now, a 13F, okay? A 13F is when a large company, like I think it's basically a Quib, a mutual funds and stuff, over 100 million, they have to file a quarterly accounting of all their holdings, okay? They have to report quarterly all their holdings. That's a 13F filing. 13F is when large companies file quarterly all of their holdings, okay? Now, so Ross, low to mid 80s, you're fine. Have anyone here, if you're taking the 65, 66, please go do my 2 brutal exams. I'm not saying they're exact, but they'll give you the vibe, okay? Vibe as the test, okay? So low to mid 80s, Ross, and if you're still here, you should be rock solid, okay? Okay. Okay. Hold on. Soul props. I got it. Okay, now I got it. Okay, that makes sense. I read. Okay. Oh, Samuel, if you stay on here, let me know. Okay. Let me get into this. This is a crazy one. I mean, here's the problem with it, and that's a shitty fucking question. Look, Kaplan's fine. I just think they go into the. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit. Kaplan's fine, right? Kaplan's good. The problem is you have to not go into the weeds. You have to stay down the center. Don't think of an exception until they bring it up. That's always been my line for 20 years. Do not go into the weeds unless they drag you there, okay? So if they ask you a question, think normal. Don't think the exception. Think the normal part, okay? But the problem is a lot of the vendors, especially Kaplan and Pest Perfect, they start in the weeds. So they get you thinking that's where you have to go all the time when you don't. Everything's center. Not everything, but 85% of the shit you're going to see is center, straightforward. Not easy, but straightforward, middle of the road, not crazy rules. You will have some outliers, let them go. That's why I say stay away from crazy. Don't go down the rabbit holes, okay? Don't go down all that shit. Just Relax, okay? We're going to be fine, okay? And here's what I'm saying. So yes, here's why I say this. You are absolutely allowed to put a muni in an IRA. You can. It's fucking stupid. You should never do it because there's no advantage to it. Actually, like if you're gonna have an IRA, buy a corporate bond. You get a better return, and you don't pay tax until later anyway. Okay, especially if it's a Roth, right? So it's stupid. They bring it up. That's what I'm saying. They bring up edge cases. So now you start thinking, oh, I can put munis and IRAs. When the real rule is don't fucking put munis and IAs in IRAs. That's a problem. They do a thing for there's a question they have in the summer, like, what's an accredited investor? And it's a single person making 250. Technically, that's true. It is true, but the number is 200. So I get they have to do it once in a while, but people start thinking, oh, accredited investor is 250. No, it's 200 if you're single, 300 if you're married, 1 million net worth. Okay. Samuel, hope you're still on here. Okay. That's the other thing, right? So on the test, they're probably not going to go into sole props on the broker deals and IAs because that's like, again, weeds. That's fucking weeds. We don't need the weeds. We need to know the shit, okay? Yes. Can a sole prop be a broker deal or IA? Yes, they could. Absolutely, they can. Who cares? Okay? They're not going to go. I highly doubt they're going to go down that road. That's just not a thing they do, okay? Hope I'm not missing the finals of the here we go. Hope I'm not missing the finals on the curling. I'd be upset. Okay. 763. Yeah, if you're going to manage to get the 60. Well, here's the thing. So if you get the SIE 7 and 63, you can either get the 65 or the 66. Does not matter. Both of them are fine. Okay. So the good thing is if you have the 763 and SIE, you have a wide open that you can just pick either one. So literally, if you get the 763 and SIE, you can take this test 6 times, right? You can take the 66 3 times and the 65 3 times. Literally, you can do it all in 3 months because you do one, you miss, you take another one. Now you're not going to miss, Sam, but you have that off. So definitely get the 65 or 63. You can even throw in the 3 if you want because Goldman pushes the 3 a little bit. A lot of the wealth people have to have the 3 because they do futures, index, hedging, and stuff like that. Okay. Hold on. Futures and forwards are not securities, Allison. None of them are securities. Hopefully you're still on here. Okay. Oh, hold on. Daniel. That's awesome. So, Daniel, any surprises? Did you pass the 65? That's awesome. Vanguard's a great place to work. A lot of high pressure, though. They put a lot of pressure on you to get everything done the first time. Any surprises on the test? Okay. Now, Luke. Yes. But there's more to it. There's a lot more regs. But yeah, the 65 is closer to the 7 in a way because there's a lot of investment vehicle stuff like that. It's a world that's a multiple harder, right? So the SA is more definitions, where the 65 is much more about like is it suitable? What's best for them? Looking at it from another angle. I always say this: the SA and the 7, they look at the product straight on. The 65 and 66, a little bit of an angle. Okay, they have a little bit of like a tilt on what they're doing. It's still strong, but it's like you have to have a deeper, kind of like a 360 review of it. Like you have to understand it a little bit better. But I think that this SIE is a great lead into the 65. So I see a lot of firms making their people get the SIE, then the 65, and then that's it. I don't know why. I think it's just as a warm-up to prove that you can pass it, but I'm not sure. Okay. So again, Allison. Luke, I can. I did that on Tuesday, but I can do it again. So super, and we don't need to spend an hour on it. It's so easy. Okay. Futures are neither futures nor forwards on securities. However, for this test, remember, there are 5 words, and I always forget what they are. There are 5 words that always mean security. Interest in, option, receipt, certificate, and variable. So I say it again. Interest in, option, variable, receipt, and certificate. All 5 of those words mean security. The reason I bring that up is because futures are not securities, but options on futures are. So if you buy an option on a future, that's a security. Okay. Oh, Ash, bash, baby. That is outstanding. Any surprises on that thing? Oh, great. That's awesome. Here we go. This one's for you. Equal opportunity celebrations. That's good stuff. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. So, oh, hold on. Oh, Lignotha. That's awesome. That is outstanding. The 3 is not an easy test. The 3 is definitely. Okay, here we go. So, onward. In the money, out of the money, and in the money, out of the money, at the money have nothing to do with buy or sell or your premium. Remember that. They have nothing to do with in the money. They have nothing to do with premium or buy sell. It has nothing to do with you. Okay? Boom. Okay. So here we go. We are going to talk about this. So here's my board, my handy dandy notebook. If you have a 50 call, I mean, this should take 5 minutes, not an hour, right? So you have a 50 call. Anything above the strike price is in the money. Doesn't matter premium, doesn't matter any of that shit. So if you have a premium of 8 and the stock is trading at 54, I should have used a better one because that's 2 equal, right? Okay. Say it's trading at 53. That's $3 in the money, but the time value is 5. Because look, $3 in the money. How much did you pay for the option? 8. You paid $8 more than the in the money amount. You have $5 of time value. Time value is what we think it's worth. Okay, not what it is. It's what we think the option is worth more than what it's worth. Let me actually click on this part. Hold on. Here we go. So this is for you, baby. So again, anything above the strike price is in the money for a call. Put to the opposite. Now, let's say it's trading at 42. Is it above or below the strike price? It's below, so it's out of the money. So there's no, so you can have numbers for in the money. I mean, technically there's $8 extrinsic. It's not going to be testable. So anything below the strike price is in the money. Is that anything above the strike price is in the money? Anything below is out of the money. Now, if the stock is trading at 50, what do you think that is? Yes, that's at the money. So in the money, out of the money, at the money. Okay, now, just in case we're throwing it out there for the hell of it, let's say the stock's trading at 58. So the premium and the in the money amount are the same. That's called parity. Okay, so that's in the money, out of the money on calls. Hope that helps. Now we're going to do puts. So let's say we use a different number. I don't know where my black marker is. 40. My dogs probably ate it. At 4. For 40, put at 4. So that means anything, since it's down, it doesn't matter buy or sell, and this doesn't really matter. Anything below the strike price is in the money. So if it's 38, it's $2 in the money. If it's 42, it's out of the money. No good. You wouldn't exercise it. And if it's 40, it's at the money. Simple shit. Okay. Now remember something. If it's in the money, you will exercise it. So that's a great question. So let's say, oh, by the way, guys, in case you don't know, we have a thing. So I do tutoring as me. I have 2 tutors at work for me. It's great stuff. Also, That's under series7exam.org if you need help, whatever it is. We have group lessons, all that. If you don't like my style, I'm too bombastic for you, whatever it is. There's a guy, Michael Weiss, who runs Series 7 Exam subreddit. It is and his website is series7examtutor.com, and he's great. Also, I just took over a subreddit from an old idle moderator. It's called r/series65 exam. It's the whole thing. Series 65 exam. It's really small. Not a lot of people in there right now. I'm going to build it. So any of you who want to come in there, just like I built. Now, if you guys know this Facebook group down here, FINRA and Exam Test Prep Network, we have 8,600 people in it. It's crazy, right? So many people in it. Like, and I'm very active. I have three other moderators helping me out. And our biggest job is to stop the spammers. Since it's a private group, you have to ask to get in, you have to answer questions. So it doesn't grow as fast as it should because I'm not letting fake people in there. It's super private. Here's the best part of it. Here is the best part of this. It's so fucking supportive. If somebody puts something in there that I failed, boom, boom, boom. There's 20 people going, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Here's some advice. They start study groups all the time, and study groups are magic. But now back to this. What was I talking about? I was going to talk about whether you would exercise or not. Okay. And this is a 65 thing. It's more 7, but it's a lot toward the 65. Okay. So look, say you have a 50 call at 5. You bought a 50 call at 5. And let's say the stock is trading at 52. So now, if we know this, you know your break even. Does it look straight to you guys? Is it back? No, it's right. Okay. To me, it looks backwards. Okay. Now, yeah, I'm reading it left to right. Yeah, that works. Okay. So now, that if you know the break even's 55. So the question is, would you exercise this? Of course you would, because if you let it expire, you lose the whole premium. If you exercise it, you buy stock at 50, you sell it at 52, you make 2, you spend 5, you lose 3. You still lose money, but you lose less than you would if you didn't exercise. And there we go. Don't have to go any deeper than that. That 100,000 hands is I love that song. Okay. My advice, gift, if you're still here, just read the book. Focus on reading the book first. That's your best bet. Focus on reading the book first. SIE, I have a playlist that covers it all. Hopefully you have, like, if you can afford it to get another vendor, maybe get Achievable. There, Achievable teaches a shit better than nobody teaches it better than them. Their questions are okay, they're fine, but they're literally, it doesn't matter. They teach it so well, you don't need the questions. And that's what a lot of people worry about. They go, oh, my questions don't match the exam. Who the fuck cares? Your job is to learn it as well as your job is to learn it so well that it doesn't matter what level test you get. You don't care about your draw. You don't care about any of that shit. Look, if you say yourself, if you ever hear yourself saying, I hope I get an easy draw, stop right fucking there. That is loser talk. Hoping for an easy draw, asking somebody to give you an easy draw, me saying, I'll try to get you an easy draw, it's loser talk. You should be so fucking good at this. It doesn't matter what test they give you, because you don't need a fucking 90. You need a 70 or a 73 or a 72 on the other ones, right? So literally you need a C-. You should know it well enough that you could pull that off. And again, sometimes it doesn't happen, but you should know it well enough to know that. Okay. Daniel, there it is. That's right. Okay. Okay, Jay Beck, I'll get to you. I'll be there in a second, okay? I'm telling you, that's the thing. So, no, this is the thing. So I've had somebody, I'm going to bring this up. This is my segue. So, Daniel, yes, some people, I have a big problem with NASAA, okay? NASAA, they're nice people, but I don't think they have a big enough group to actually give good questions. So the disparity between hard and easy is massive. Like, I literally had a student come to me 2 years ago. He missed the test by half a question. He missed a 65. He got a 70 exactly. He needed 92 questions at 91. Studied for a month. And then after this is why he came to me. The second month, he studied his ass off, read the book again, did all that stuff. And he got a 40. Because he called me up and said, what should I do? I said, read the book, do the questions, do that stuff. The second time he took it, he got a 48. And he goes, it was stuff I had never seen before. I don't mean to scare you, but shit happens, okay? Then the third time he goes, it was the easiest test in the world. So you just don't know what you're going to get. And like the 7, I mean, even the hardest 7 is like here. It's hard. And then the easiest is here. So there's a difference. I mean, easy, maybe you get an easier one, but it's not like here and here. The 65 is like here and here and here. It's all, you don't know what you're going to get. And it's really bad because FINRA, the one thing FINRA does good, is they let anyone who works for them take the test over and over and over again, but they have to give feedback. So they say the test is fair. It's not fair, stuff like that. NASA doesn't do that. It's a much smaller group. They can't do it. So somebody needs to kind of tell them, you can't do this shit. You can't have one person get an easy test and another person get a hard test. It's not fair. Because if you were going to let people take it more than 3 times without a wait, sure, do it. Fuck them. But since you do that and it's 3 times, they can get 3 hard tests in a row where somebody's an idiot passes it because it's all definitions. It's not fair to anyone. Okay. Quite a bit, like 25%. So if you study for the 66, a lot of it, right? So a lot of the 66 will show up in the 7, not the regs part, but like a little lightly modern portfolio theory might be kept in, but more about the product stuff, less on the insurance side, but definitely bonds, definitely common stock. You're going to definitely have more. So if you took the 66 first, which I think you said you did, I'm not sure if that was you. The 7, I'm a big fan of taking the 66 first before you start working, but the 7 helps you get ready for the 7 for the 66, but the 66 doesn't really help you get ready for the 7. It's a little bit okay, but like the 66 assumes that you understand some of those things already. So like the 7 is SIE, basic, 7 more harder, and then the 66 is not harder, just a different angle, right? I don't think it's harder. I think it's just different. A lot of people don't like teaching it, but the 66, if you go right into the 66, they're expecting you to know a lot of that 7 stuff already. So they kind of just have some more advanced questions on it. So it's tough. Okay. Okay. Yes. What's a commodity? A commodity, I mean, what is the definition of a commodity? It's something that like it's a natural resource or something that you can trade. So yeah, gold works. Okay. Gold, oil, wheat, lumber, apples, oranges, frozen concentrated oranges. If you watch Trading Places, the world's greatest finance movie. Okay. Kidding. It's a great movie to watch, but it's not going to give you anything. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Now, so great question. So here's the one thing I'm going to tell you. Probably use the old numbers, but here's what's going to happen. One, they don't do a lot of numbers. They don't do a lot. Look, nobody likes to rewrite questions. I don't like to do it. I don't want to do new videos, but you have to do sometimes. Like you don't want to redo your videos. So they don't want to redo their questions. So a lot of times they do evergreen. They go, oh, what's the age they can take money out? What's the age they can put money in? When do they have to take it out? Less about the amounts. But I would assume that they're going to use new numbers. But here's the better part. They should not give you for IRAs 7 grand and 7,500, or for the catch up 1,000 and 1,100. They shouldn't do that. Okay. Now, okay. I don't think they're going to use the new ones yet. I think it's too soon, but they could. But again, I don't think. Look, and if they give you choices 7,500 and 7 grand, go with the 7,500. Go with the new numbers, because if you fail at my one and you go back to them and say, hey, you can say, no, I knew the new numbers. I did. If they say it's the old one, that's on them, and they would have to change it. Okay, don't have to do anything. We have a really good defense. Okay, so I would go with the new numbers. I would go with the Trump account. Okay, you can put in 7,500. You can add 1,100, stuff like that. Okay, if you're over 50. Okay. Okay. How hard is the pass rate? It's fucking hard. Okay, hold on. Brittany, thank you very much. You're gonna love it. I want you to come on Tuesday night when we do the FINRA stuff and tell me how great they are. You're by Tuesday, by Friday, by Saturday, you're gonna be like, oh my God, why are people worried about options? Okay. Okay. Is it? I think it's probably lower than the 7, but some of it's because people think, oh, I think, I don't know how they do, if they'd listen to me or anyone else, how they could ever think the 66 is easier than the 7. But I think maybe sometimes they get a little cocky. Like if you bang out the SIE and then you bang out the 7, then you walk into the 66, you're like, I got this. And then you got to get your ass kicked. I have found that people who fail the SIE once and then pass do better on the 7. I have found out that people who fail the 7 once and then pass the 7, they do better on the 66 because you did a deeper dive, because you failed. You don't want to be embarrassed again. So I think it's hard. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's a tough test. It's not impossible. If you take your time and learn the shit and try to learn the stuff versus memorize, you should be fine. Okay. Most important thing right now, what you have to do last minute, get trust, and I'm not going to do it because you can read it. Trusts, estates, and joint accounts. And then ethics is always big. If you don't have that, don't take it. Okay. You're going to take it, but don't make sure you have ethics down. But find my crash course. I have a power hour video that I did just like 4 months ago. That's really good. All feedback from what like topics people are saying. So again, joint accounts, customer accounts, joint accounts, trust, and estates. Just make sure you have a good basic. It's not that it's hard; it's just low hanging fruit. Okay, here we go. I have a couple of things. So like I did a couple of videos when it first came out, like maybe 6-7 months ago. So QDRO could show up. Okay, so QDRO could show up. That is if you get divorced and your husband or wife has been putting money into the 401k and not you because maybe you stay at home or whatever, and part of the divorce decree you're entitled to it. You get a QDRO, a qualified domestic relations order. You hand it in to go to your husband or wife's pension plan or 401k, and they will distribute to you tax free the money that you're entitled to. Other than that, you can't do it. Okay. You will have to roll it into an IRA or something within 60 days or pay taxes. Okay. Secondly, QDIA, that's for like if okay. Boris, it's fine. Totally cool. You're good. The 66 first is fine because there's less pressure. Now, back to this. So QDIA is for two things. If you have anyone know what a target-based fund is? Yes, great job, guys. Target-based fund is like say you're 22 and they go, okay, you're going to retire in 40 years. They're going to do a lot of equity, a little bit of bonds, and it's just a target base. And then as you get older, okay, it's going to be more and more conservative. So when you're like 40, it's going to be half and half, and then when you're 50, it's going to be mostly bonds, and when you're 60, you go, here's your cash. Okay, so it adjusts. That's called QDIA. I forgot. I think it's qualified defined investment action or something like that. But it makes the choices for you. Also, this is the other one, because what would people do is they would open up a 401k, and that's all they would do. They would not choose investments. Okay. They wouldn't choose any investments. And they go 3 years ago, why isn't it growing? You have to do something. Kind of like the old joke. There's an old guy, Seymour, who kept praying to God, please, God, let me win the lottery. Just one lottery. Just one lottery. Just let me win the lottery. I'll be a good man. I'll donate, blah, blah, blah. Every year he prays. Every week he prays to God, please, please let me win the lottery. After 15 years, he goes, God, why haven't you let me win the lottery? And God goes, to win the lottery, you got to buy a fucking ticket. So you got to get involved. You can't do anything. Okay. So the point is, you have to, that whole point of a 401k is you have to actually invest it. So people didn't. So the QDIA automatically invests in for them based on their age. Okay. That's two things. IRMA, that's income related Medicare Advantage. So for Medicare Advantage A and D, you have to, that means the more the A and D, like Medicare, you get at 65. You can just buy the basic and pay nothing. But the extra things like the prescriptions and the surgeries and other things, right? You add those on. Those are extras. Okay, those are advantages, right? If you make a lot of money, they raise the premiums based on your income. So I think the highest premium, if you make a shitload of money, is like $800 a month. If you make like 400 grand a year, you pay 800 a month. If you make like 50 grand a year, you pay like 200 a month or 100 a month. Less, maybe less. Okay. So IRMA is an increase. The more you make, the more they charge you. So your retirement plan has to take into account that those charges. So remember that I've seen questions where they base it on that your retirement plan, your wealth planning has to take into account those numbers. So maybe either try to keep your income low or build it in so you know what that you're gonna have to pay 800 a month or 400 a month, whatever it is. Okay. Now, that works. Don't forget to join the group that's scrolling across the bottom. Okay. Now, what else? Cash versus accrual. I did videos on this. It's popping up. Cash accounting is for small firms like me. Cash accounting means when I get cash from someone, I count it the day I got it into my accounting stuff. So if I get paid in December and I don't tutor the person until January, I still count it in December. That's cash. Accrual is and all public companies have to do accrual under GAAP. Okay. Accrual is I get paid in December, but you go, I'm paying you now to just tutor me in January. I don't log that money in the taxes until I actually earn it, which is say January. So if I get it in December and it's for January, I don't count that money on my books until January, okay? Because when I earn it, that's accrual. Cash, I get it. When I get it, it's there. Accrual is I don't count it until I earn it. That's another thing that pops up. The last one I just heard is what they call a crummy trust. Might be crummy, C-R-U-M-M-E-Y, a crummy trust. And what it does is, again, I'm still doing research on it, but I'll get a video on it. It's lit, and I've only heard one or two people get it, so I don't really go crazy on it. It's basically for if you want to put money into, if you want to give money to in a trust, you can put it as a gift, and you get to put the money in the trust, and you get to take advantage of your gift, the $19,000 gift exclusion. But but it's cool. The beneficiaries have about 60 to 90 days to actually take the money out without having problems. So if you put, it's irrevocable trust, you put the money in, you get the tax, you get the write-off, that whatever that you gave a gift, you don't have to pay taxes on it. If they take the money out, the trustee will let the beneficiaries know that they have 60 to 90 days to withdraw the money if they want it. If they want it, they get it. If they don't take it out, it goes into the irrevocable part, and then they can't take the money out unless the trustee, it's part of the trustee stuff. So that's what that's for, is that I don't get the purpose of it, but to put the money in, it's for the gift tax exclusion. There's a small window in the beginning where the beneficiaries can take the money out. Now, it can't be some kind of quid pro quo where the beneficiary gets it and gives it to the grantor. Doesn't matter. You put it in, the trustee tells the beneficiaries they can take the money out. Okay. Just so you know that it's a thing. It's not fake. I mean, it could be a test question, but 2 people said they've seen it. Okay. Also, the trainer ratio, TREYNOR. So again, they're probably not the math, but normal Sharpe ratio is, Sharpe ratio is my reward enough for my return, my risk, and that's expected return minus risk-free rate over standard deviation. We should know that, okay? Trainer is the same thing, but over beta. No really difference. Trainers over beta, Sharpe ratio is over standard deviation. Other than that, so if you haven't heard of those yet, good. Now, Ryan, now you know. Okay. Don't be nervous. Tell me you're going to pass, baby. Ryan, tell me you're going to pass. Okay. Now, yeah, hold on. Let me get to that one. Yeah, Boris, read the book, baby. Just keep at it, baby. Veronica, I agree. Okay. Yeah, I think she's good. I think Susie Rhodes is good. She's entertaining. She has some good stuff on YouTube. She's a good supplement. I don't think she's a standalone. They don't have enough questions, but she's very good at what she does. She's entertaining, not as entertaining as me, but she's more professional. Okay. Jordy. Okay. Oh, love it. Jordy, stay there, baby. Okay. Love it. Okay. My Florida boys. Okay. At least one of you guys shows up on here. Okay. You can guilt them when we talk on Tuesday too. But yeah, she's good. She has good stuff. She explains it well. Look, here's my thing. I'm more of a disruptor. That's kind of what I am. I'm just different than everyone else. So it's not cookie cutter. I script and I just read like this and do that. And people do that. They have slides. They do this. I'm not that way. If you need that way, there are a lot of places to go. I'm more on the little nut side, the ADD, kind of just jump around. Okay. But she's solid. That's fine. Do this 66 for, okay. What has changed for the 529? I mean, the gift stuff. And I think the raw stuff, but I don't think that, let's see, is there any new 529 rules for 2026? Let's find out. If I could type. Okay. 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 So that's fair. So the K through 12 went up to 20 grand. So for going now, I don't think they asked numbers. Okay. So, it's up to 20 grand. You can pay for curriculum, tutoring, standardized test, online learning platform, and some educational therapies for disabilities. You can use it for stuff like the CPA, the bar. I wonder if you can use it for the 7. That's very interesting. Okay. Now the other one is the able rollover. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, the 5-year thing hasn't changed. You can always front load up to, now the gift limit is what, 19, is it 19.5 a year? So now you can give up to like 95 grand a person. Do the math on your The other thing, the able one, it used to be you had to be disabled by 26. Now I think it's up to 40. Okay. Jordy, don't leave. Okay. So those are the big ones. I wonder if you can use the 529 for the 7. That's a great question. I mean, it's professional, right? Okay. So guys, interesting. Okay. We'll have to look into that. I don't want to make anything, but I'm thinking maybe because it's a professional license. So you can use that if you have to buy your shit on your own and you have a 529 laying over, you can use that money. Okay. Here we go. I agree. The 65 is a little tricky. Yes. Again, I don't disagree. I think they're ambiguous. That's why I said they come at you on a different tilt. Unbelievable. Okay. Hold on. Let's go, baby. I got a couple of people. That is a Jordy. Fucking Florida boys. Let's go. Let's see if we got a good one for you. There we go. Boom, love it, Jordy. That is outstanding. Now, since Timothy, you passed the 65, I'm going to try a new one. This one I haven't tried before. I don't remember what I did with this. Let's see.
I can hear you. Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? A torrent in yellow and porous is he. If nautical nonsense be something you wish, then drop on.
Boom, baby. I love it. Okay. Class 1 share. By the way, Jordy, I appreciate it. I'm not, but it is what it is. I appreciate it. Boom, I love it. Timothy, I knew you were ready. Okay, hold on one second. I think they mean, I think they won class. Unless they mean class I. Okay. I think they mean I class with his institutional. I don't think they mean one. I mean, I think they mean I. Now, if I shares, okay. I shares, okay. I think it means I shares. I've never heard of class 1 shares. It could be A class, which is just normal stock. But remember, I shares, okay. If I'm going to go with that because I don't know what class 1 is, unless it means like the regular ones. I shares are like when people buy into mutual funds, it allows it like they sell to institutions and pensions and like stuff like that. So they give them, they can, like when you buy into a mutual fund and you can move shit, a 401k or something. If you have a 401k and you move stuff around, they're not going to charge you sales charges. So the iShares pretty much have like lower everything. So it's more for institutions to buy the shares of the mutual fund and they get more money under management. Okay. I love it. Okay. Did you have the crummy? Is it the clammy trust? Okay. How was it hard, Timothy? Because somebody yesterday got it. Okay. So the clumsy trust. I like that. So the crummy trust is about getting the annual gift exclusion and that people can take it out during the first 60, 90 days of beneficiaries. Timothy, before I jump off, I never know on the 65, 66 night, I sometimes I get 2 people. Like I got 11 at one point and then went to 21 and I got the LinkedIn people and Instagram. So I don't know where we are, but let me know. Before I jump off, how hard was it? A hard question? Because the person I got before was so upset about because they had never heard of it. If I do this, look how crazy this is. If I do this, it's like everything that comes through. It's fine. It just gets a little messy, and it's hard to do when Jeff's on here. Okay, and she should be back next week or the week after. He had the day off. Okay, the week off. Okay. Again, if you can remember if the crummy trust was a hard question or not. Did anyone else who took the 65 see the crummy trust question? I mean, I'm wondering if it's one of the fake ones. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. While I'm waiting for Timothy. Alfonso. Nice Irish name. Okay. Well, my material's free, baby. My shit's free. I don't give it. I don't charge anything. I don't actually have books. So you can use STC, maybe by the Cap and Q Bank. If you're struggling to learn, Go on my link somewhere, and I have Achievable. You get a $10 discount or something like that. If you're struggling to understand the concept, okay. If you're struggling to understand the concept, Achievable's great at explaining stuff. They're cheap. I mean, they're not dirt cheap, but they're on the cheaper end for the materials, and it's all online. They're great. You can do it. It's optimized for your phone. If you just need more questions and you get it, do did I mention it yesterday? Did I mention it when we met? I don't remember. Okay. I never know. Hope I did. Okay. If not, just get the Cap and Q Bank. Michael Weiss has a link for it. You can get a discount. I think if you type in this, if you message me, there's a link there's a promo code I can give you. Okay. It's a big discount too, like 25%. Yeah, just read the book, baby. Read the book, watch the videos, maybe get the Cap and Q Bank just to bump it up. Okay. Okay. I wasn't sure. That's awesome. I love when it works out when I say something. That's awesome. Isn't it a great feeling if somebody goes, "Hey, watch out for this," and then it shows up? Was it a hard question though? Okay. I-10 Wanko. I-10 Wanko. Okay. I'm sure there's something dirty in there, but that's fine. Focus on these before you focus on that. The 26 is difficult enough, but why are you thinking about that shit when you got it this? So if you have the SIE 6 and 63, you have to focus on what's in front of you. Okay. Oh my God. That's literally what the question is. That's perfect. I love it. So it's first 60 to 90 days, depending. Okay, here we go. SIE, focus on that. When you're done with that, focus on the 6. When you're done with that, get the 63. Then come back and we'll talk about the 26. Do not think boom ahead of time. Boom. Alfonso, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I try not to be. I actually put one of my videos into GPT, one of my earlier ones, and I said critique it. Made me cry. Like normally AI is pretty nice to you because they want you to keep paying. But when you say be brutally honest, it's just like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do this? You mumbled. I'm like, oh my God, how did anyone fucking watch my videos 5 years ago? Okay. Okay. Timothy, thank you, man. I love it. You're outstanding. I love that shit. Okay. Javier, I agree. I love it. They're my favorite. And then if you don't want to do Achievable, your firm doesn't pay for it, get STC. I love it. Okay. How would I do that? Right. So what I do have, if you look in I think in the 65, 66 playlist, I have a couple of mnemonic videos. Let me see if I do. Let me see if I have them in there. Because I have a crash course playlist for the 65, 66. I have so many of these playlists. A regular playlist. There's the SIE. There's 63. I wish I could organize these better because they are hard to find sometimes. Here we go. Let's see if it's in there. Do I do the gorilla style? Yeah, okay. So this says Series 7 on it, but it's a lot of little things to remember shit. And if you're taking a test tomorrow, don't worry about mnemonics. Just watch this video. Watch my 65. Hold on. I should give you the whole fucking playlist, right? Hold on. Anyone taking the test in the next day or two, even if it's in a week, this playlist will help you a ton. It's a lot of high target shit, okay? Oh, hold on. Mark Gallagher! Boom. Okay, first of all, you can't just pass that shit over. You can't be like, oh, I just passed your shit. That's fine. Hold on. What's funny is I get more people after 9 than I do before that. It's funny. I should just start my live at 9 at night now, but no, I would be exhausted. Okay. Yeah, that's the playlist is this. I can get it, but it's a 65, 66 because there's such overlap. So Alfonso, grab that link for now. That's a lot of crash course stuff. And then my 65 playlist is here. It's a big one though. It's a big one. It's about 65 videos. No, 56. I'm way off. There's a playlist just for the 65, 66. The stuff in the beginning is more important than the end. The end stuff has good stuff. Okay. I think we are good to go. Again, Alfonso, appreciate it. Okay. Timothy, I love it. How great is it to, guys, how great is it to walk out of there with that pass? So everyone who's taking, before I jump off, everyone who's taking it, please just type in, I'm going to pass. I love seeing that. Just type in here, I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. That's the goal. I'm going to give it a minute or two. I'm going to make you guys suffer through a couple of things while I do it. Let's see if there's anything fun I can do. Remember, everyone who failed once, remember this.
What? Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Germans? Forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Never, ever quit. Never quit. And I've seen people quitting.
Boom, baby. Benjamin, damn right, we got this. Veronica Harmonica, we're going to get this. Ryan, we're going to get this, baby. See, I love it when people get the reference, okay? Not everyone gets that. Not everyone's old enough to remember Animal House. By far, other than Blazing Saddles, one of the funniest movies in the world. Now, if you're going to watch Blazing Saddles, you should watch it alone or with someone who does not get triggered, okay? Okay. Yes, baby. Do the 4. Listen, the FINRA stuff is Tuesday nights, baby. FINRA stuff is Tuesday nights, okay? Remember something. Tonight just NASAA. I split it up because I like to keep everything kind of clean, even though it hurts my viewership a little bit because I could just put these together. I have like 60 people. It gets confusing because 7 people don't want to hear the 66 stuff, the 66. So I said, okay, NASAA night is Thursdays, FINRA is Tuesday. So if you have stuff if you have questions on the series 4, jump on Tuesday. Okay. Okay. Boom, baby. You're going to pass. Damn right you. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. You didn't have to do that. Again, I'm not doing this for the money. I do the tutoring. I literally tutor 12 hours a day, 10 to 12 hours a day, depending. Like I'm off Saturday because I'm going down to see my son. First day as captain of his college lacrosse team, first year. He became captain this year. He's going to graduate in May. Everyone pray for me. Pray for me. I need it. Because if he does that, I get a raise of like multiple tens of thousands of dollars a year. And his first game as a captain, I am happy to get down there and watch him. Okay. Oh my God, April's almost too far. Depends. So Javier, depends if you can study all day. So guys, remember something. All of these exams, other than the 63, again, little Gotna. Okay. I appreciate it so much. You're gonna come on Tuesday night and we'll talk. You can ask some 4 questions and other ones. Okay. All these tests except for the 63 should be about 4 to 5 weeks out max. Anything more than that, you start kind of diminishing returns. Okay, you start going backwards a little bit. Okay. Oh, God, I don't know why I keep doing that, but it doesn't feel as glitchy. Okay. 4 weeks. So 63 is 2 weeks of hard study. So Javier, it depends. Are you studying all day? Then definitely don't do April. If you can do 2 hours a day, you can probably take this by mid-March. Especially if you use Achievable maybe, or you get the Achievable program, or you watch my videos, you go over that stuff. The other thing is, guys, join study groups. I can't tell you how much study groups are amazing. They're like the secret. They really are. The secret to passing is getting in a study group where they challenge you. Here's the thing. If you join a study group, do not be fucking passive. You need to be active. You have to be willing to be wrong and be like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. That's how you learn. If you just sit back and try to listen, nobody learns that way. That's why when I teach my classes, it's very active and it's a very, very extremely high success rate because all I do is ask questions all the time. I literally know, the smaller they are, if I can get it under 20 people, everyone's getting attacked. I learn all their names in the first 15 minutes, and then boom, boom, boom. I attack them. I'm teaching and asking questions and teaching and asking questions. Because if you ask them questions, you got to do it. The other thing to do, if you have a significant other, you should, no, I'm not going to be dirty, print out some questions and then have them read you the questions. And you have to answer open-ended. Like you have to answer without seeing the answers. It helps. It makes it harder. Also, I have a lot of those videos. If you look at my old videos, scroll down, hit video, scroll down, right? You can see that I have these videos with Am I Ready to Pass? They're like 10-minute videos where I just ask open-ended questions. I don't give the answers. I just go, you need to understand this. You need to, do you get this? Can you do this? What is this? What is that? I do it for the SIE, the 6, the 7, the 60, 65, same thing. Those are all, they're very good. If you want more fun stuff, the shorter stuff and more varied, Series 7 Whisper on Instagram, and I'm Series 7 Whisper on TikTok. Okay. I'm not bad. Instagram's a little slower growth. TikTok, I'm almost 30,000 people. Here, I'm over 100,000, right? Good. Okay. Okay. Javier, that's awesome. Oh, okay. That's fine. If you want to if you're in class, the GPA is more important than rushing it. So yeah, take that on your own. Some schools have classes. Like there's a couple of schools that they have teachers teaching the class, which is great. They bring people in, stuff like that. Okay. But yeah, if you're doing classes and aiming for April, like maybe spring break or something like that, that'd be perfect. Okay. I think that's awesome. Okay, everyone, this was good. I like this. We got busy at the end, right? So I always like last Thursday ended early because it was just like there wasn't enough people on here. Nobody was getting involved. I like the energy. I like, even if we just come back and forth, I just like the energy. Guys, I love doing this. I do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays because I like doing it. If I didn't like doing it, I would fucking stop. I have so many other things I can do in my life. Okay. But I love doing this. This comes first. They all know, my family knows Tuesdays and Thursday nights, nothing. Okay. Okay, everyone, I will get out of here. And you guys enjoy your weekend. It's a long weekend. You should get some studying in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like my shit. Also, don't forget to share it to other people you think would totally be offended and think it will help. Because that keeps me doing this shit. Okay. Anyone? Let's go. Javier, also, don't forget, if you're doing this on your own, if you pay $5 a month, we have a class on Wednesdays. Not Zoom, it's Zoom, not that, or Google Meet or Zooms. But it's not this shit show. This is fun. This is more fun for me. The class, see you Tuesday, baby. It's like a 1-hour class. You just bring questions in and you share them on Zoom, and it's just like 4 or 5 people in there. It's pretty small. Okay, everyone. I will see you on the other side. Have a great weekend. Have a good I think it's President's weekend.